Hello and welcome to the Cardfight Vanguard weekly update. My name is James and today I will be going through the cards shown throughout the past 7 days. Now, as there are so many cards this week due to the monthly Bushiroad reveals and the normal reveals being more than usual, and also they just randomly announced some other cards as well, I will be going through some of these cards a bit quicker than usual. But I'll try to talk about the more important ones a lot, and I'll try and talk about all of them a little bit, but it's going to be a bit more speedy through it. But the video itself should be around the same amount of time or maybe longer. The Dragon Empire Zeroth Dragon has been revealed this week. His name is Zeroth Dragon of Inferno Drachma. The skill is Auto Counterblast 2. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, retire all of your opponent's units, bind them face up. Your opponent chooses 3 cards from his or her hand, discards 2 from among them, and rides a card from among them on Vanguard Circle as stand. Even comes with the reminder text of the Vanguard is retired as well. He or she rides a card from the soul if there are no cards in the hand. He or she loses the game if it is not possible to ride anything. So if you do ride into a lower grade, you cannot use G Guardians to defend yourself. This card is definitely better against some clans than others. Against decks who manage to keep a big hand size, this won't do much. But against anything that values offense over defense, this is perfect counter to them. Some of the Dragon Empire clans will make very good use of this card, such as Murakumo, who don't have very much offensive power or any way to retire units through effects. Kagro gets a couple of cards this week, including some Blade Master support. We have the Grade 2 Dragon Knight Isar. He has Blaze and Auto Rearguard Circle Generation Break 2, Soul Blast 1. When this unit attacks, if your Vanguard with Blade Master in its card name is blazing, you may pay the cost. If you do, until the end of that battle, this unit gets plus 5000 power and your opponent cannot intercept. At the end of the battle, you may retire all rearguards in the same column as this unit. This does mean he will retire himself, but it does bypass resist, meaning this route can really help Zegenberg. Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon Extend Grave Dragon is a new stride for Kagro. With Blaze and act Vanguard Circle once per turn, counterblast 1 and choose a face down card from your G-zone and turn it face up. Until the end of turn, this unit gets Auto Vanguard Circle when this unit attacks. If this unit is blazing, draw a card, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. This is a fantastic first strike for Kagro. You don't have to rely on hits to retire anything, and you get to draw an extra card, which Kagro can really do with, as well as getting the G flip without any conditions. Murakumo get new Grade 3 and 4 forms of Shirayuki. The Grade 3 is 6-fold Flower of Fantasy Shirayuki. She has continuous hand and deck. This card is also regarded as Fantasy Petal Storm Shirayuki. This means it can be used for the original Shirayuki's Persona Blast. She also has Auto Vanguard Circle. Choose one or more of your cards with some of their grades being 3 or greater from hand and discard them. When this unit attacks or is attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and it gets minus 10,000 power until the end of the battle for each of your units with Shirayuki in its card name. Unlike the original Shirayuki, this can be used as an offensive ability, lowering their power as you go into attack. The stride is Gracious Ice Beauty Shirayuki. Her skills are act Vanguard Circle once per turn, counterblast 1, and choose a face down card with Shirayuki in its card name from your G-zone and turn it face up. If you have a heart card with Shirayuki in its card name, choose one of your opponent's units and it gets minus 5000 power until the end of turn for each face up card in your G-zone with Shirayuki in its card name. And continuous Vanguard Circle Generation Break 3. All of your rear guards with Shirayuki in their card name can attack from the back row. Keeping units in the back row can help a lot to protect your Shirayuki units when protecting yourself with the new Grade 3 skill. And this power debuff lasts until the end of turn. This actually starts to be really good finisher for Murakumo, and there already is another Shirayuki G unit adding to the debuff potential. Another stride for Murakumo is Lord Deity of the 5th Caution, Yasuie Genma. He has the first skill of act once for the turn, Vanguard Circle, Soul Blast 1, and choose a face down card from your G-zone with the same card name as this unit and turn it face up. Choose a card from your rearguard circle or drop zone, search your deck for up to one card with the same card name as that card, call it to rearguard circle, shuffle your deck, and at the end of turn, return the called card to your hand. Not too amazing, but nice that it lets you clone from the drop zone. And you could also search for things like your heart card if you've discarded it to stride, so the next time you do stride, you can definitely go into an ultimate stride. What makes this unit really good is his second ability of Shadow Stitch, Auto, Vanguard Circle, Generation Break 3. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked Vanguard and did not hit, choose up to 5 of your units, and they get plus 5,000 power and plus 1 critical until the end of turn. This is very dangerous for your opponent, as Murakumo have plenty of ways to get to have their back row attack. And it works great for the Sodahagi card that can stand himself back up. You can still use stand triggers, as if you don't get stand triggers through his trigger check, Siren Fox can replace the rested units with her skill, and then the new units get the plus 5,000 and plus 1 critical. He can also be used in any Murakumo deck, which adds to his flexibility massively. Stealth Rogue of Retaliation Ooboshi is a grade 2 with auto rearguard circle. When this unit is chosen by the effects of your opponent's card, choose up to 2 cards in your circles other than Vanguard Circle and Guardian Circle and return them to your deck. If one or more cards were returned, search your deck for up to 2 Stealth Rogue of Retaliation Ooboshi, call them to separate rearguard circle and shuffle your deck. This, like a lot of the other cards in this set, can put locked cards away, and by cloning himself, allows to continue this effect if your opponent then decides to try and lock more. And he can put himself back onto the bottom of the deck too. He also has Shadow Stitch, Rearguard Circle, Auto, once per turn, Generation Break 2. At the end of the battle that your other unit attacked a Vanguard and did not hit, if you have a Vanguard with Yasue in its card name, till the end of turn, this unit can attack from the back row and it gets plus 7,000 power. This works amazingly well with the new Yasue stride and is generally a very strong and reliable unit. Lastly, for the Dragon Empire clans, we have Tachikaze. Firstly, with the Grade 2 Savage Ranger. Auto, Rearguard Circle, Generation Break 1, Soul Blast 2, and retire this unit. When your Vanguard becomes engorged, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, countercharge 2, and choose up to 2 of your units with the Engorge ability, and they become engorged until the end of turn. If you can spare the Soul Blast, this effect is very well worth it. You essentially get to engorge 2 units for the price of 1, as well as getting resources back. Gliding Dragon, Dim or Glide, is a grade 1 with Engorge, and auto Soul Blast 1 and put this unit to the bottom of your deck. When this unit is retired from Rearguard Circle due to the effect of one of your units with the Engorge ability, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose any number of your units with the Engorge ability and they become engorged until the end of turn. Making all your units engorged is amazing. You can't bring this unit back through Gaia's skill as it goes to the bottom of the deck, but if you could, I feel this unit would be ridiculous. Savage Conjurer is another grade 1, this time with Auto Generation Break 1, Soul Blast 1 and bind this card face up and choose a Sentinel from your drop zone and bind it face up. When this unit is retired from Guardian Circle, if your attack did not hit, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 1 Sentinel from your drop zone and return it to your hand. This is an interesting take on the idea. Instead of a perfect guard using this kind of skill by itself, you can use this to combine with any of your Sentinels. An interesting card, though it's going to be a little hard with having to guard with this. If you could use this skill by retiring her through your unit's skills, it would be amazing. Distribute Bullet Dragon, Spread Marga, is yet another grade 1. This unit has Auto Generation Break 1, Counterblast 1. When this unit is retired from Rearguard Circle for the effect or cost of any fighter's cards during your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, choose a card from your hand and call it to Rearguard Circle. The great thing about this card is it does sort of counter stuff like Denial Griffin. I don't know how often this will become of use, but it is at least a nice counter to that, as well as being able to be used through your own abilities too. We have more good stuff from Aquaforce this week. Champion of Storms Thavas is a new grade 3 with Auto Vanguard Circle. When your G unit strides, choose up to 1 card from your hand, call it to Rearguard Circle, choose one of your rearguards. Until the end of turn, it gets Continuous Rearguard Circle Resist. Then if that rearguard has the wave ability, it gets Continuous Rearguard Circle. This unit can attack from the back row. And Auto Rearguard Circle once per turn, Generation Break 2, wave 1st or 4th time only, Counterblast 1. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit. The great thing is both these skills work together, as if you want to call him through the On Stride skill, he allows for 2 attacks from the back row. He also helps defending against things like Denial Griffin and Hetero Round Dragon due to the resist. Battle Siren Shipra is a grade 2 with continuous rearguard circle. If you have a Vanguard with Thavas in its card name, this unit gets plus 2000 power and continuous rearguard circle resist. And auto rearguard circle, generation break 1, wave 2nd to 4th time only, counterblast 1. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Thavas in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 3000 power until the end of battle. This draw is really helpful as hand size is something that Aquaforce struggle with, and the power buff helps her to hit if you are attacking unboosted due to wanting as many attacks as possible. Dragon Rider Dinos is a grade 1 for Thavas with continuous. If you have Vanguard in its card name, this unit gets resist on rearguard circle. And auto rearguard circle generation break 1, wave 1st or 4th time only, Soul Blast 1. When this unit boosts, if you have a Vanguard with Thavas in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses one of his or her rearguards and retires it. Yet more resist, and if you were missing out on old Thavas's retire effects, this guy can fill that role for you. The first GR we get is also an Aquaforce unit, Marshal General of Wave Honor, Alexandros. He has auto Vanguard Circle wave 2nd to 3rd time only, counterblast 1 and choose a face down card from your G zone and turn it face up. At the end of the battle that this unit attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose 2 of your rear guards, stand them, and they get plus 5000 power until the end of the turn for each face up card in your G zone. This is pretty flexible and tends to be a better version than Lambros. It also works well against lock, as it's not likely that your opponent is going to lock all your rear guards most turns, and you have back row attackers, so even if they do the triangle lock, you can still do something. I think Lambros still has a place, as he works better for if you want as many attacks as possible going through, but Alexandros will be better for a lot of situations. Blue Wave Marine General Gallius's skill has finally been announced. His skill is auto rearguard circle once per turn, generation break 1, counterblast 1, and choose a card from your hand with Blue Wave in its card name and discard it. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Blue Wave in its original card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, until the end of turn, this unit gets auto rearguard circle once per turn. When your Vanguard attacks, stand this unit, and it gets power plus 2000 until the end of the turn. Then, if it was the first battle of the turn, stand this unit. Being able to stand twice is fantastic, especially with Valios keeping your opponent's power at 11,000. Despite being in single R, I think this card is one of the main units that's going to make Blue Waves really good in this set. Blue Wave Shield General Yorgos is a perfect card from hand when guarding a Blue Wave unit. He also has a skill of Act Drop Zone, Generation Break 1, bind this card face up, choose up to one of your rearguards with Blue Wave in its card name, and until the end of turn, it gets continuous rearguard circle. This unit can attack from the back row. A very cheap and very useful skill. It's hard to say whether this is better than countercharging, but they seem to work for different playstyles. If you're expecting a game to go on for longer, then Plato the countercharger is better. But if you're trying to kill your opponent as quickly as possible, this unit is definitely better. Lastly, for Aquaforce, we have the stand trigger Blue Wave Soldier Twin Head Shark. The skill is Act Rearguard Circle Generation Break 1, retire this unit, choose any number of rearguards, exchange their positions, and draw a card. He can refund himself, which is great, and you can actually use him in any Aquaforce build, as he's not Blue Wave specific. Though I'm not sure how many times his skill is useful, either way, if you're going to run stands, he's better than a vanilla. Grafting Celestial Judiel is a single R Strider. Her first skill is Auto Vanguard Circle, counterblast 1 card with Celestial in its card name as any of your units. At the beginning of your ride phase, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card from your damage zone, call it to Rearguard Circle. It gets power plus 3000 until the end of turn. And card of your deck into the damage zone face up. And her second skill is Auto Vanguard Circle Soul Blast 1. When your G unit with Celestial in its original card name strides, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for a card, put it into your damage zone face up, choose a face up card from your damage zone, and heal it. This card is very good considering the low rarity, and cards like this and New Garmor give hope for all sorts of subclans to get new Striders. Celestials also get the new Stride with Holy Celestial Raguel. She has Auto Vanguard Circle, choose a card from your hand and put it into your damage zone face up. When this unit attacks, if you have a hat card with Celestial in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 face-up cards with the same names as any of your other units from your damage zone, call them to separate rearguard circle, and they get power plus 5000 till the end of turn. If you call 2 cards, choose one of your vanguards and deal 1 damage. This does give you a rescue check, which is nice to see outside of Gavrail. already gives 2 units a nice buff. A crit trigger on top of one of those units will put a ton of pressure on your opponent. For Gold Paladin we have Easegal Liberator, a grade 1. His first skill is Act from rearguard circle or hand, bind this card face up, choose one of your units or locks, unlock it, and it gets plus 2000 power until the end of turn. And the second skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. Put this unit in your deck. At the beginning of your ride phase, if you have a Vanguard with Liberator in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, you may pay Counterblast 1 card with Liberator in its card name as the cost for the next time you stride. I like how flexible this card is. Even if you don't have to worry about lock, it still has a lot of use with the striding skill. Liberator Improved Falcon is a perfect guard that works from hand and also has the skill of Act Drop Zone. Choose another card with the same card name as this card from your drop zone and bind it face up. Choose up to 2 cards in your circles other than Vanguard Circle and put them to the bottom of your deck in any order. If one or more cards were put, look at top 3 cards of your deck, crawl a card from among them to Rearguard Circle and put 2 cards from among them to the bottom of the deck in any order. The best thing about this is it's generic, so any Gold Paladin deck can take advantage of this card, which can help Gurgwit a lot if it becomes a very Link Joker filled meta. Young Lion Liberator Romanus is a Forerunner with Act Rearguard Circle, Generation Break 1, Counterblast 1 and retire this unit. If you have a Vanguard with Liberator in its card name, choose 2 of your units with Liberator in their card name. Until the end of turn, they get Auto Rearguard Circle when your other unit is placed on Rearguard Circle. This unit gets plus 3000 until the end of turn. This is a much more flexible version of Cheer Up Trumpeter, and using this on both of your Vanguards when you have Prominence Glare Legion can be very deadly for your opponent with the prevention of using Perfect Guards. Moving on to some GEBO2 bits, we have a few with their skills announced, as well as some cards to look forward to. Mega Colony get Bad Luck Style, a grade 1 with 6k power. She has Auto Soul Blast 1 when this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle from your hand. If the number of your opponent's rest units is 3 or more, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. Though the soul is very valuable for a lot of Mega Colony decks, this early draw can seem almost worth it. Running 1 or 2 of this shouldn't be too much trouble, so long as there are plenty of units that can attack for 10k power or above. Talented Rhinos is a grade 3 for Great Nature that has Success 20,000 and Continuous Rearguard Circle, Generation Break 1. If this unit is successful, this unit gets power plus 4,000, and for the battle that this unit attacked, your opponent cannot call grade 0 cards from hand to Guardian Circle. This together with Managama is incredible, as your opponent won't be able to guard from hand with the combined guard restricts, and having Crayon Tiger restanding this unit just hurts a whole lot more. Neo Nectar also get a grade 3 with Poinsettia, Flower Maiden, Grenelle. Her skill, Auto, Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle once per turn, Generation Break 1 when your other unit with the same card name as this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle during your turn. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets power plus 10,000, and if this unit is on the Vanguard Circle, it gets plus 1 critical too. The once per turn and during your turn wordings hurt this card a bit, but it can be nice for a quick 21k attacker. We also have some cards shown without their skills from this set. For Mega Colony we have Excelling Mutant Prom Lava, who looks like he will be a Forerunner. From what I've heard from people giving rough translations of the lore, he will support the Dark Phase build. Then we have Black Spear Mutant Borg Wasp, who looks pretty fearsome. I hope he's a grade 2, but he gives off a sort of grade 3 vibe, which would be a shame if he's a grade 3 that nobody will use. He looks strong enough to be a G unit, but he does not have the mutant deity in its card name. And we also have for Mega Colony Shining Horn Mutant Dangerous Horn. From his appearance he looks like quite a defensive unit, but seeing as there is so much focus on the horn, I feel like he'll have a good amount of power. We also have the Neo Nectar unit, Storkesia Lavis Musketeer, Daphne. By the looks of her, she will be a grade 3, maybe a grade 4. But I feel like she'll be a second strider for Musketeers. There are a few more cards, but I've yet to find translations for their names, but I will give an update in the next video if I can find them. And after all that, we have one promo card teased to us, another unit for Mega Colony without its skill, Fluffy Bee-Fly. Strangely cute for a Mega Colony unit, and definitely gives off a grade 0 feel. Whatever it is, I feel like it would countercharge, as in the art it is gathering supplies, which sort of gives off that feel of getting resources back. And that is everything for this week. Be sure to check out next week when I'll be going through the cards shown throughout the next 7 days. It is most likely, due to what is happening in the show right now, that we will be getting some Mega Colony support next week, as well as the Dragonic Overlords, though seeing as it's released in Japan next week for GBT13, we should have all the GBT13 cards show next week, hopefully with a healthy dose of G Extra Booster 2 cards, but yeah, prepare for a big splash of GBT13, so I hope to see you next time. Bye!